Dear Virgos, what is happening for the dear Virgos during May of 2019? Well, May is a month that is a bit of a preparation for a more serious month with more changes to come in June. So, and definitely I think for the Virgos, it's not that much of the biggest month of the biggest changes. In general, again, unless you have a lot of stuff going on your personal horoscope, of course, these are general horoscopes. But what is going on that is a continuation of last month? So I made a separate video of Saturn, Pluto and the South Node if you want to know a bit more what that means for you. But also this month, not only in April, but also this month in May, specifically, we will have Saturn very, very close to the South Node in your 5th house. So that is still ongoing and a repetition, so to speak. But there is still a building up, excuse me, of the changes that are about to come for next month, and that you can work already on that now, which is your opposite house of the 5th house, the 11th. Where the North Node is, but also now, especially during the midst of the month and onwards, you're having Mars there in Cancer. And what does it all mean? It still means that some karma, some old structure or some old way of behavior needs to go. That is related to your 5th house. So I said it in other videos as well. That might be a child, that might be a lover, and that might be a project of yours. So does it mean you have to close up and say bye-bye? And no, that's not the thing. But what I'm saying is, when you are very controlling of one of these cases, like controlling towards a child, controlling, no matter what the age is, controlling towards a lover, controlling towards a certain project that you want so desperate that it is going to your way. That is not the case now to continue that kind of energy. The case is now to more detach yourself as much as you can, of course, from it. It doesn't mean, again, especially with children, it doesn't mean detach yourself and I'm not interested anymore. No, but it's energetic level. On an energetic level that you need to, the control, you need to let go a little bit of that. And that is not really easy for a Virgo, because Virgo is all about perfection and they all want the little details to be there at their place, and that's not always possible with this energy in your 5th house. So it could be still in May for especially the ones with a Virgo rising, a bit of a testing month when it comes to your children, when it comes to a lover, maybe a lover you desperately still want to keep, but you know deep down inside this is not good for you. It's time now to let go, and you've got time to let go of that. As I said in that other video, we have a year where we have those planets being very close to each other, like Saturn, South Node, Pluto. But this is a crucial month as well, where you will realize, whether you like it or not, that it's not all in your control. And instead of that, do what you can do, of course. And but instead of focusing on what you cannot control, focus on what you can control, and therefore your Mars is in the 11th house. So for a lot of Virgos, it's really a shout out of the universe of make some new plans, make some new objectives, some new plans for the future. Because there is the North Node, there is growth possible. There is possibility of expanding your social life, for instance. Maybe your social life wasn't really social, and now you're trying to get along with a couple of friends and be very active with them, because it's after all Mars. So being more active on a social level, maybe you know, on the internet, on the networking with people, classes, group activities, But if you're saying, no, I'm not that kind of person, well, then at least take some time to put some effort into creating some new, for you, supportive, new objectives for the future. Because that will make it for you a tiny little bit easier to let go of that fifth house, whatever it is for you that you needed to let go of. And that you needed to let go the strings a little bit, you know, the control. So there's a lot for you to gain. If you have your own business, for instance, Mars in the 11th house is, wow, it's hustling. It's working a lot to have a bit more income there. Because Mars's energy, it is focus, it is drive. And if you have your own business, having Mars in the 11th house is pretty good. It means that you can be very forceful, that you can be more active, and that you can control more. It's almost like for those Virgos who have their own business, it's almost like put a little bit more effort in what you can control with the job or with the work, and you will manage through this time way easier. So for others, if you say, no, I don't have my own company or whatever, as I said, try to find a new objective, a new goal for the future. And it might be a bit in contradiction with that fifth house, and especially next month, you will be able to break through. And because Mars is gonna jump into Saturn and Pluto, but that's for next month. On another level, another thing that is really nice for you Virgos, because that was a bit the tough side, another very gentle energy is Mercury, your ruler, but also Venus. It's gonna jump into Taurus, into Uranus in Taurus, and that is very refreshing energy. It's a sister sign, so you're gonna have lots of planets in Taurus, which is good for you Virgos. It's in your 9th house of enjoying yourself, maybe whilst traveling, or whilst reading, whilst studying, whilst you are teaching someone else, whilst doing something cultural, going to an event, exploring YouTube channels, or doing your own YouTube channel. And things can come all of a sudden. You can get all of a sudden, maybe when you are single, you could meet someone from abroad. You can have really that refreshing and very exciting click there. And these are the gifts of the universe to you, dear Virgos, and enjoy that and see that. It is an extraordinary time to expand your mind and to, again, we expand our minds very often when we travel, when we read, etc. But learning a new language, all that, these kind of things can really give you enjoyment, because where Venus is, there is the enjoyment there. And so enjoy that as well. On a relationship level, things are not really changing, except for the fact that maybe your attitude towards love drastically needs to change. So whatever your attitude was, it needs to change. And you could have had an attitude of, oh yes, in relationships I always have to fix people, which is a really Virgo trait. Now you might think, I better not do that. I mean, that's not good for me. That's not good for them because they don't want it, or whatever. You see, whatever your attitude is, or you're saying you're giving too much, or you're saying I'm not giving enough, it's time now to change that. Your ideas around love are drastically changing, and it's only the beginning, because next month it's full on. Having said that, I wish you a very good month, dear fellow Virgos. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want a reading, just get in touch. Bye bye.